Hello and welcome to another Canguro English Daily Digest. My name is Christian and today is Wednesday, best day of the week. Yesterday I talked about pronunciation and basically how in English consonants are super important and vowels, well, not so important, right? But I want to continue talking about pronunciation today because a lot of people do not study pronunciation in the right way, and a lot of people don't understand the fundamentals of how pronunciation is controlled by this, our human instrument. Okay? Pronunciation is not some magical, perfect thing that jumps off the page and comes out like a high-quality digital recording. No, it doesn't work like that. We're humans, and our instruments are not perfect. And so I'm going to start with today's word of the day, which is queen, which is a very common word. You probably know the word queen. But today's word of the day is a bilingual word of the day. Here I also have it in Sanskrit, which is gna. So why am I using a bilingual word of the day, queen and gna? Well, I'm going to explain why a little bit later. But I actually want to start with a Spanish word today, okay? Which is this word, albondiga, okay? Now, an albondiga in English is a meatball. So they're these beautiful little balls of minced meat. And in Spain, normally they're served in like a kind of tomato sauce. Now, this word isn't very interesting, except for one little problem. Now, in Spanish, you have the Royal Academy of the Spanish language, and they are basically the arbiters of the Spanish language. They say that this word is correct and this word isn't. You should spell the word this way and spell the word that way. And recently, okay, they said that this substitute word, almondiga, they said that this was also a correct spelling. Not just correct, but correct. The Royal Academy says it's correct. And you can see that we have the difference between the B and the M. Now, for a lot of Spanish people, an almondiga, people who say almondigas, it's like nails on a blackboard. Okay? I know a lot of people who are like, oh my God, who says almondiga? What's wrong with these people? You know, it's not difficult to say albondiga. Now, here's the question, and this is totally related to English pronunciation. Now, why would anyone say almondiga? Is it completely random? Just one day some guy said almondiga and then everybody said almondiga? No. Let's look at the actual letters that have changed, and let's think about our imperfect instruments. So, albondiga. Let's look at the B. Let's look at our mouth position. B. We have our lips together, right? Now, let's look at the other letter. Let's look at the M. Let's look at the mouth position. It's exactly the same. Almondiga is no accident. It's an example of something called assimilation. Okay? So, what's happening here is that people are getting lazy. Not like sitting on the sofa, relaxing lazy. They're getting lazy because they want fast, efficient communication. Now, here, if you want to produce a B, you say albondiga. It's explosive. Albondiga. But here, okay, all we have to do is close the lips. Almôndega. It's much less effort. Same mouth position, very, very similar sound, less effort. And this example is true for so many different languages, okay? And so let's go and pick on a few other examples. Let's go to French, because the French are not perfect either. Here. Okay, let's have a look at this one, okay? This is a French expression. Coup, because they don't pronounce the P's in French. I believe this is correct. Coup de fil. Or maybe it's coup de fille. I'm not sure, okay? But the important thing is this, okay? Now, if you listen to most French people when they're speaking, this will not be a de. This will not be a de. This will be a t. They will say coup de fil, t, coup de fil. Because of course, this is all unvoiced. This is unvoiced. So it's less effort, coup de fil. It's less effort to transition and use a T instead of a D. Now, let's have a look at Polish. Ooh. We're also going to pick on Polish, okay? So this is the Polish word for face, okay? And I believe, and again, I might be wrong about this, I believe the correct pronunciation is twarz, okay? This W is like a V, voice activated, twarz, twarz. But, again, because the T, because it's unvoiced, there's no voice, most Polish people will say twarz. They don't say V, they say F. So it's a difference between twarz and twarz. Okay? Now, again, I'm sorry, I could be wrong about these things, but what I'm trying to show you is that we cannot just learn sounds in isolation. Okay? A lot of people, when they are learning pronunciation, they learn individual sounds like consonants and vowels in isolation. But what happens is when people put all of those sounds together, they can affect each other. Now, a great example of this is minimal pairs. So you'll find a lot of people will practice short and long vowels using minimum pairs. E, 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 E. So ship, sheep, ship, sheep. But here's something crazy in English is that, again, you know, when we have those sounds together, they all affect each other. So a minimum pair, for example, would be like this. Okay? Look at this minimal pair. Exactly the same vowel sound here in the middle, but because of the different consonant at the end, because we have a voiced consonant and an unvoiced consonant, the length of these two vowels are different. Bead, beat. And this is an example of how sounds do not exist in isolation in language. You can practice minimal pairs, ship, sheep, but then you put them in a sentence and all of your hard work can disappear, okay? And this can even extend to sounds disappearing completely, okay? So the really delicious treat that we all enjoy in summer, of course, originally was called iced cream, because it was cream that was put on ice. But this sound disappeared because the transition between D and C was too difficult. So it became ice cream, not iced cream. And there are millions of examples of how this happens. And now let's look at K and G. Queen, gn. Same mouth position as voiced and unvoiced. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Digest. Remember to practice your sounds together.